To everybody that's listening to the sound of my voice, even to my frenemies, to my friends and my loved ones and the ones who are just spying on me. Oh, I'm so happy to be on The Trend. Trending music, culture, and conversations. Do you know who I am? I am the Telisa Franklin. And I told you I am excited to be in the studio on this morning of WAVN The Trend. My new home for radio. Listen, go ahead. Tell everybody that you know that Telisa Franklin is on The Trend, FM 104 and AM 1240. Go ahead and tell your friends. Go ahead and tell your family. Tell them everywhere that they need to be listening to The Trend. Why? Because we're trending music, culture, and conversations. And on this morning, I told you we are ready to trend because I am excited to have these two brothers in the studio with me on this morning. Yes, I said in the studio. We are all 6 feet away, as you can see on Facebook Live. But I tell you, we have a powerful conversation on this morning, and we're going to allow you to call in, to chime in on the conversation, and I'll be giving that number out shortly. But let me go ahead and introduce my guests on this morning. And they are not just a guest, y'all. They are staples here at The Trend. But I told you, we're going to have a conversation about what happened at the Capitol. OMG. Where everybody like me, like, what the world? Where they do that in? So, will y'all welcome with me the one, the only, our business manager. Yes, he is the business manager. He's just a man that's full of creativity that can do it all. But I tell you on this morning, he is my co-host for this morning. Will y'all welcome the one, the only, my brother, Jason Clark.
What's going on? What's going on? Thank you for having me, T. I'm so excited.
Well, you know
being here.
That's right. I'm always excited to have a good. Oh, I just feel like an Oreo cookie, baby. I got two fine black men on both sides of me. Come on here. Well, I tell you right now, I have the funny man himself, y'all. But I'm telling you, he rocks the mic in the afternoon for your drive home. The one, the only, the man, Urban Soul Cafe himself, the Carlos. I pray you ain't going to hell. Carlos Hale.
Oh, the kid got jumps this morning. Oh, okay. So we just gonna be petty early on in the morning. She got a little radio show. She wanna be petty. Sound like the kid step doing it. Yeah, doing Telisa Franklin.
Get me right, baby. Get me right,
girl, you know you from Douglas.
For sure, boo. And you know what? That's why I tell people, don't get it twisted, boo.
Right.
Don't get it twisted, but I am blessed. Well, I tell you on this morning, guys, let's talk about what in the world happened on last week. What happened?
Man, I was sitting at home minding my business as I always do, and me and Mike Pence was a little bit disturbed. Mike Pence is my dude, but you know, Mike is he's like Mike right now, you know, from being Hale. Because once Arizona stood up there and said they was going to dispute, you know, the election, the college electoral college votes for Mr. Joe Biden, you know, I could see it in Mike Pence's face. He was very disturbed, you know, and so when that happened, the hoorah was going on outside at the same time. Your president gave a Martin Luther King Jr. I had a dream speech that literally really shook up the foundation right there in D.C. I mean, I was like, dude, for real? You just gonna be hit with 2.0 for real? Exactly. That's what you doing? Right. That's how we talking as a president, you know. But you lost, bro.
But you know the funny thing about that, Jason and Carlos, is that what if those riders would have been African American? Would we have a different scenario? Would we have body bags and 18-wheelers full of bodies right now? And I tell you, my flower shop couldn't keep up with all the flowers because all of those brothers and sisters would have been gone.
Absolutely. And I'm going to tell you like this. Even just as a black man, I had to step out just for a second because I was really emotional behind it, just thinking about what would have been. You see what I'm saying? Not only just that mass of people, even if it was just 5 of us out there just wanting to have a conversation, guess what? We all would have been laid out. Or
Yeah.
whatever, you know what I mean? And so, my thing is, this kind of lets you know that there's a different standard for them versus for us, or whatever. And everybody knows that. But one thing that I was happy to see is there were so many of our leaders that recognized that, even down to our incoming president, Joe Biden. You know what I mean?
Right.
He straight up, he was just like, y'all know, had that been African Americans out there, that would have been a different scene.
Baby, body bags
You know what I'm
everywhere.
saying?
Body
Exactly.
bags everywhere.
And shout out
Exactly.
to Daryl, who, he was actually doing DoorDash, and they caught him on camera in the gallery with their red hat turned backwards. He was doing DoorDash. So that one black dude everybody's sharing on the internet, he wasn't in the group. He was just doing DoorDash.
Just trying to make a living.
Yeah.
Trying to get his paper.
He was just trying to, deliver some food, to somebody from, in the gallery.
Right.
But yeah, that picture went viral though. Now let's talk about the internet. The internet is undefeated though. I've seen some of the most hilarious pictures from what happened on Wednesday videos. Did you see the one video where the white guy was climbing the wall and they had the Super Mario and then game over.
Yeah.
Undefeated. Internet is undefeated.
That was pretty fun. I'm going to tell you. And then what got me, I saw something this morning on the internet, y'all, which was really, really funny, that the grandmother was defending what President Trump ignited.
Exactly.
And I'm telling myself, baby, but do you understand how much money you finna spend to get this man out of jail? Because it's one little action.
Right. See?
Right.
So I wonder, they all just want to be Facebook famous. They going to be famous in jail.
Right.
Well, also, let's talk about the one guy who broke into Senator Pelosi's office.
All MG.
From Arkansas.
From
Arkansas.
Yeah, he's
But
from Arkansas.
let's go back. Let's go back to history. He's a former Memphis Fire Department fireman.
I had no idea.
Yes.
Are you serious?
I am dead serious.
That is crazy.
That's
crazy.
He was a fireman right here in town.
That's crazy.
Before he moved to Arkansas, and that's just,
So my thing is not to cut you off. How many black children, how many black people that he went to their house that they needed help and he didn't give them the help? I tell you, you better watch these underlying people motives.
Yeah.
Right.
One thing that I heard Joe Biden say on an interview one time, when it comes to dealing with hatred and racism and things like that or whatever, he was like, some people don't understand that sometimes racism isn't solved, it's just hidden. You know what I mean?
It's down on the inside.
And he was like, there are a lot of people that are like behind the scenes racist and things like that, and once they get an opportunity, all of a sudden they rear their heads up or whatever. And he was like, that's the thing that you've seen under Trump's administration.
Right.
There are a lot of people that we've known for years that we didn't know had that type of personality. You see what I'm saying? I mean, and all of a sudden, when Trump gave them a go-ahead that, hey, it's okay for you to be out there and be like that and all this and that, well, there you go. We have the Capitol.
Absolutely.
What happened there or whatever, you know what I mean? So that was, and also let me say this. They're trying to compare that to Black Lives Matter.
No comparison.
It ain't no comparison to that.
Apples and oranges, baby.
We marched and everything because we were getting killed and everything like that unjustly. They were marching and rioting because they lost.
Yeah.
And that's it. They were marching and rioting just because they didn't get their way. That ain't the same thing, man. You know what I'm saying?
Even on top of that, let's go back to a couple months ago when there was some march in D.C. and you had the National Guard standing in front of the Capitol.
Man, I'm trying to tell you.
Big numbers. And so the thing is, I found out watching CNN and Fox News, as I always do, that this stuff was already being breaded on social media.
Absolutely.
Under our very own eyes. Some things Trump they put out on, because I saw a tweet where he was like January 6th, 2021. January 6th, 2021. And so in other social media sites, they knew they was coming to D.C. So where was the guards that was at the Black Lives Matter rally?
Right.
Where was they at that day of January 6th? They was nowhere to be found. So when you had people you had guards just letting the people come through the barricades. You had police officers taking selfies with those people that was rioting. That is unheard of.
Exactly. Man, well, I mean, then again, birds of a feather. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's the whole thing behind it. But, like I said, this, I'm like this. it even goes beyond just even a black and white issue or
It
whatever.
does.
You know, especially even when it comes to Trump. Now, even when it comes to Obama, there were a lot of things that I didn't agree with, but at least I felt like as a citizen, I had a voice. You see what I'm saying? I felt like we were having a conversation. You see what I'm saying? So that makes it completely different when you're dealing with leaders. But not only did we have a leader that wasn't considerate of how we felt, he was just going to demand and push his feelings and push his agenda and forget what we want, forget. It wasn't even a black and white issue. It was more of a money issue with him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
Yeah. But you know what?
Yeah.
When you think about black and white, there is one of my Facebook friends, and he's a Republican. He's always been for President Trump. He's a guy that looked like we look. He's African American. But one thing I can only say to respect this young man, he went to Washington, and when he seen what was going down, he turned his butt around and went back to his hotel. See, he understood that, this ain't no play here.
Exactly.
You're gonna go to jail for a mighty long time.
That's right.
And so for me, all of those people that were out there, did it ever occur to them there is going to be repercussions for your actions?
Yeah,
This man can't pardon all y'all. Yeah, you got people that there's a man. Somebody help me out there on social media or call in on 901-213-6438. Again, our calling number is 901-213-6438. Y'all call. There was a business, a muffler shop or something. I saw somebody stated that the owner was a part of that was at the Capitol. And I'm like, in your business, it sits in the hood?
Right. Exactly.
Really? Baby, your wife, your children, everybody with your said, Daddy, stay your butt at home. This is how we make money off these folks.
Right, exactly.
You know, people won't know how you feel until you show them, and everybody, those thousands of people showed us how they felt.
Well, just like I said earlier, like President Biden said, racism is not always solved, it's just hidden.
And they use different names, so instead of calling themselves Ku Klux Klan, they go by Tifa or some of these other organizations, these right-wing organizations, so that it won't be considered racist. Like, I do have black friends, or I do have black Republican friends. Speaking of black Republicans, let's talk about this last election.
Okay.
Woo!
The number of African Americans that supported Trump and his agenda was so I was blown away.
Right.
The number of African Americans, like right down the street, in the city called Chattanooga, there's a young man by the name of Patrick Hampton, African American black male. When I was, prior to coming here, when I was in Nashville, and the election came out, and they said Joe Biden is the president. That Saturday, I witnessed an African American man lead over 10,000 people down to the state capitol in Nashville, rallying for Donald J. Trump. I've never seen it in my life. I said, for this African American man to have that much power over all of these people, and I mean, they was riding through downtown Nashville with a Confederate flag. They were saying the N-word, but yet he is in the middle of this. Let's talk about the number of African Americans who took side to President Donald J. Trump. #45 is what we call him in the hood.
Wow. Well, I'll say this, and this is not, I'm not talking about that man or whatever, because I don't know him personally or whatever, but I'm just talking about just in general sometimes. When you think about it, and follow me when I say this, sometimes what happened with us in slavery affects us today. Now let me tell you what I mean by that. That type of master say he sick, then we sick. You know what I'm saying?
You talking about Samuel Jackson?
Right? Exactly.
What you talking about?
Right.
You sick, boss?
Exactly.
Oh, I sick, boss.
Exactly.
So really, they weren't mad about the election. They were mad about that girl. That was fun. They were mad about that Kamala girl. That was fun.
Right.
Baby ladies, it is our season. It is our year. Come on, ladies. You ladies, we are first now. Come on. All right, I just had to put that plug in there for my ladies out there. Ladies, you got it going now. All right, sister. Okay.
Club no name.
Hey. Now that we at Club Trend, where we have music, culture, and conversations.
Right. and then I'll say this, even on the flip side, you had some people that were actually fooled to think that Trump was actually going to do something for them financially or things like that. And if you would have done your due diligence, you would have known Donald Trump has never built anything in his life.
Like, man,
I'm talking about
let's go back to 4 years
he's
ago.
never built it or
Right.
whatever. He didn't build millions. He didn't make that.
Right.
He inherited that
Right.
or whatever. And that's a whole
Uh-huh.
different. That's a whole different ball game. That don't mean that you know how to build business or you know about business and all this and that or whatever. The only thing that he knows how to do is take from people. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And that's it.
He don't know how to
Right.
work from the bottom up.
Absolutely.
Right.
He don't understand the
Absolutely.
struggle.
He's always been entitled.
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And he felt that this election he was entitled. It's just like over the weekend, you know, I saw the most hilarious post last night where someone actually took one of his post tweets about the elections and flipped it about the Tennessee Titans. Said the Tennessee Titans won by a landslide. The referee cheated.
Hey, bro.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, you like your president. But let's talk about. I mean,
Yeah, but you should have
he's
used the
entitled.
Steelers though. Don't use the Titan though. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole different conversation. Though,
I,
you know what I'm saying?
I know. The Super Bowl, I
We ain't
know
gonna
somebody
talk about
has
that
no
now.
Add me in
Right.
nothing right now. Hey, I got people blocked right now on Facebook because they're texting me all that. The Steelers. Blocked. You on the Facebook jail.
Right.
You on the Facebook jail.
But
Man.
you know what? When we saw what happened
Yeah.
on last week, what, in your opinion, will it do for our children that has to go to school with many of those parents' children? And as they're in school, they have to literally fight the battles.
Right. Well, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna come from a whole different angle. One thing that I've noticed about the young people, first of all, they get along better than we do, or whatever. You know, hence the Black Lives Matter movement. You had a lot of, you know, young white teenagers that were like, "Hey, this ain't right." As a matter of fact, I saw something. Man, I wish I would have had it pulled up, but that was a young lady that made several Instagram posts and Twitter posts and everything about her mom or whatever. Her mom was forbidding her to go out to protest for Black Lives Matter and all this and that. And so she saw pictures of her mom out there at the Capitol. She was like, "So mom, you didn't want me to march, but this is you." You know what I'm saying? I'm serious. I mean, and she posted it or whatever. And so, you know, one thing about it, I think, especially with some of our young people, I think they get it better than the adults or whatever. You see what I'm saying? Coming up, some of those adults, it was ingrained in them to hate.
Yeah.
Some of the kids are questioning the parents now, like, why do I have to hate them? They ain't done nothing to me or whatever. You see what I'm saying? And so I think it's going to kind of, you know, work a little bit more so in our favor. However, coming from an administrative standpoint, dealing with teachers and stuff like that, I don't know how that's going to be.
That's
You see
gonna
what
be
I'm saying?
crazy.
Now, you know, that's a whole different ball game right
Yeah.
there. You know what I mean?
I said this 4 years ago when Trump took office. Out of the ashes rose a generation of young leaders that don't see color. And they started in middle school, high school, and college. Just this past summer, one of the biggest protest rallies that happened in the state of Tennessee, where there was over 50,000 people marching for justice in Nashville. Okay?
Wow.
That whole march and protest was led by 4 teenagers, 2 whites, 2 blacks, all students at Hillsborough High School in Nashville, Tennessee. And people was marching not knowing that these young people got together with their peers and decided to put this march
I
together.
remember that, yeah, because they
mean,
went social media and
it was young people.
Yeah,
Young
these young
people.
people. These are 4
Yeah.
young ladies, 2 blacks, 2 whites.
Yep, I remember
And,
that.
Man, it was like 50,000 people.
Yeah.
And people don't realize the marching, the joyful, all that, it has an effect on the economic outcome of this whole society.
Absolutely. Hey guys, we got to take a break for a minute and then we'll come back. Listen, you that is listening, you have an opportunity to chime in on the conversation. The number here is 901-213-6438. Again, that number here is 901-213-6438.
Marcus Darling.
So, hey, y'all come on and chime in on the conversation. We'll be right back on The Trend, where we're trending music, culture, and conversations right here on FM 104 and AM 1240. I am your girl, Telisa. You're listening to The Telisa Franklin Show.
up, y'all? Thank y'all for tuning in.
Hey, everybody. Hey. Hey. Good. Hey, everybody. We are so excited to have you. Have you liked? Have you shared? Have you liked, share, like, share, like, share, like, share? I'm on.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm on.
All right.
I heard. Have you liked, share, like, share, like, share? Listen, y'all, we're having a powerful conversation. Whoever's in there, put in the phone number 901-213-6438. Thank you so much. 901-213-6438 is our call-in number. Listen, y'all, it is a great yeah, it is a great, marvelous Monday. We're having a great time. I tell you, it is going to be crazy.
30 seconds.
What'd you say, Carlos?
30 seconds.
Oh, see, I got a man in the studio.
Man, look now.
But I love him. I love him. Oh.
All right.
Thank you so much, Carrie. Hey, Frida. What's up, girly girl? How you doing? How you doing? Oh, I gotta go. All right, y'all. Y'all listening to The Trend, trending music, culture, and conversation. I am your girl, Telisa Franklin, and I tell you, I am having an amazing time here in the studio. Remember our phone number. Keep saying it so we can know, so you guys can chime in on the conversation. 901-213-6438. Again, 901-213-6438. And our conversation is talking about what happened at the Capitol on last week. OMG. And so I have in the studio with me none other than Jason Clark and Carlos Hale. And we're having a powerful conversation about what happened, y'all. What really, really happened.
It was a series of events that led up to that day.
Yep.
You know, it didn't just happen on one day. We're going to go to the Capitol. We going to...
They had to plan their flights and all they rental cars and stuff.
It was a series of events going all the way back, even past the election, going all the way back to the top of 2020. You know, think about 2020 was a bad year for a lot of people. It was a good year for a lot of people too, but think about all of the stuff that came out with our leader, and the election had a lot to do with it because it bored over, you know, from the election. But part of that, what happened Tuesday, is probably, to me, my opinion, if you don't agree, call 901-213-6438. Let's have a conversation.
Absolutely.
Part of the conversation, part of the reason why people were so hot up there in D.C., because of a southern state by the name of Georgia. Mm-hmm. Georgia flipped from red to blue.
Exactly.
You know, over so many years, you heard about voters, you know, getting turned away. Right. We saw it in 2000. We saw it back in 2016. We saw where black people was afraid to go out and vote. Yep. Besides, they did for President Obama. But Stacey Abrams helped flip the state of Georgia from red to blue.
That's right.
And the only two seats that was available were two Senate seats from the state of Georgia. Right. Guess what? Both of them got flipped.
Yes.
To an African American and to a Jew. Hold up, and then think about it. They lost to an African American and a Jew.
They're good man.
Right.
The two most unlikely minorities in this country.
Exactly.
Started from the bottom, now we here.
You know what I'm saying? So part of the frustration for them going into the electoral vote on Wednesday because of what happened in the state of Georgia, because they knew they lost. They lost control. That means you have a blue president. Yep. You got blue House, blue Senate. Everything is blue, 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 straight across the blue.
Blue for the anointing.
Right. How y'all about shit? So with with that being said, you know, there was a lot of frustration, not only from the citizens who marched, but also from those politicians that was in the room. Like I said, Mike, if you could actually read the frustration. On my way coming down here Wednesday, I was watching Mike Pence when the young man from Arizona, I can't think of his name, got up and said what he said, Mike Pence's face was like, I want to punch you, right?
Yeah.
And if the camera was not on, I would come down there and I will punch you because he already knew this was going to be a long day.
Yeah.
And so and this thing about what Trump said and what Giuliani said and what Trump Jr. said, what they did, it balled up their frustration to all those citizens that was out there, called themselves they was protesting. They weren't rioting, they was protesting.
Exactly.
White privilege. But at the same time, you think about all the things that led up to that point. So many things. The George Floyd, all the officer brutality, the looting, and the president, the riots across 2020.
Right.
That led up to this, and then it's like we protest peacefully. But think about it. I gotta say this. Why is on my
Say it. Speak it, my brother. Speak the oracles.
Just a few months ago, you had some peaceful protesters in front of the White House, a couple of feet away from the White House in the park. I watched Attorney General Barr, under the direction of Trump, look at the crowd. And CNN helicopter had, they was dead on him, looking at the crowd so that they can push the people back for a photo op. Think about
upside down Bible.
Right. So my question is, this is the same city.
Right.
Where was the guards? Where was the police? They could have pushed the people back before they even got to the Capitol Hill.
Yeah, half of them took off and the other half was joining in. You know what I'm saying?
All right, y'all, let's take this caller because I want to test this phone.
All right, caller.
Caller, you're live on the air. Caller, you're live on the air. All righty. Let's keep it going, y'all. Let's keep it going. All right.
Technical difficulties?
No, the phone, they just didn't say anything. They hung up too fast. Yes, but call us back, baby. We'll definitely be more than happy to take that call. Well, I'm telling y'all, this is 2021 has really showed us. You know, we all said 2020 was a year of vision, and I do believe it was truly the year of vision. Right. But 2021 is for me, it's been a year of execution, and for them too, because they executed what they felt.
That's right.
What they didn't like, and so that's the thing. We got to be mindful. Gotcha. We got to be very mindful in our actions and in our dealings and who we trusting, because what I have learned even in this season, y'all got to be careful who you talking to.
That's right.
You got to be careful because you never know. There is, and I really don't really tell all of my political background because it ain't your business. But I have a client and I know how he feels, and he always say, just tell me. I said, no, I'm independent, Republican, or Democrat. I'm for whatever's right. And that's how I'm able to come back with certain answers. But we as a people, what we saw on last week was people that didn't care nothing about nothing else but what they were in that moment. They can't ever say that African Americans are emotional. We ain't the only ones emotional because they were in the moment, and many of those has made decisions from going to Washington.
Exactly.
That's going to affect their family for years to come.
Exactly. And I want to back up a little bit and just kind of let everybody know. Now this is my own opinion, so I can't speak for Telisa or Carlos or anything like that. But, one thing that I will say, going back to the Black Lives Matter movement and things like that, there were some things that happened with that I didn't agree with. I didn't agree with the looting and the, burning down buildings and things like that. Exactly. I didn't agree with that. However, I understood the level of frustration that led to that.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? I understood, but I didn't agree with the action that they took, or whatever. You see what I'm saying?
Basically, you take from us, we take from you.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So I understood that. Now, I will say, to the flip side of that, I didn't all the way understand from their perspective why they did that. You see what I'm saying? Just because they didn't win this election, just because they didn't get their way, that wasn't a just cause for them to do what they did at the Capitol.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? I mean, exactly. And that's what it's all about. It's about that entitlement. It's about
the power.
Exactly.
It's the power structure.
Exactly.
We can hold them down just a little while longer because we don't want them to have the power.
Absolutely.
If they figure out that they can have more power than us, then we do. You know?
Absolutely.
You
Yep,
know,
that's
we
right.
already had one black man in the office, you know, and think about all those 12 years, no, what's it, 8 years that President Obama was in office.
Yeah.
All the ridicule, the jokes, all the racist comments that was
Talking about his wife.
Disrespect.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I had a conversation with this white lady that was in her 70s, and she was probably one of the ugliest white ladies I've ever seen in my life. And I'm gonna tell the truth. And she's a Facebook friend. And I told her that exactly. I said,
Help, Lord.
But she said the most disturbing thing to me one day. She said, "That Michelle Obama is really ugly."
Oh my goodness.
And I looked at her and said, "Well, what you call Barbara Bush then?" Barbara Bush looking like B. Arthur from Golden Girls. Come on, man.
I'm about to put a mute button
Time out. Time out.
And
Time out.
I told her, I said, you ain't real, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
maybe 80 years ago you
Exactly.
was fine, but right now you girly wrinkle up like Barbara Bush.
Right.
You know?
Time out, Carlos. I'm gonna take your minister's life. I'm gonna take your
Right.
missionary life. I'm gonna take it. You ain't getting no elder.
We're gonna put a
I had a
mute button on
conversation with
Carlos.
the lady, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean, though.
Yeah,
I know what you mean, man.
You know,
But like I said, at the end of the day, you know, we have to want to do better just as a people, period,
Right,
or whatever, you know, and hopefully this will bring about some change and everything.
Absolutely.
Now, of course, now that all the housing and things like that are controlled by Democrats, that doesn't mean that everything is automatically going to be solved. There's still work to do. Or
Right.
whatever, you see what I'm saying? And also, we still have work to do
We
on our
have-
part
yeah.
in our communities. We still
Right.
have to, you know, invoke positivity and, you know, try to move this ship in a whole nother direction or whatever. So,
and part of, you know, one of the underlying, you know, things that's going on in African American communities today, and that's what some of the frustration may have come about is
Right.
this thing called gentrification.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm looking at it from a point of view. I saw where some of Nashville most historical African American, I'm saying it one more time, African American communities have now become mixed. You know, there was a time where we had this one street called DB Todd, and someone made a post on Facebook, and they had Leonardo DiCaprio skipping, and they said white people skipping down Dr. DB Todd Boulevard. A lot of us African Americans laughed because we seen it, you know, but there was a time in the day you would never see that. Now you go to a lot of African American communities, you see those houses that grandmama used to own, and she left it to her daughter. Her daughter died, and she left it to little Nene, and little Nene just ran it down.
Yeah,
Right.
parking in the yard and
You know,
everything.
Cars in the yard, grass is growing. Nene get an offer for $20,000. Think about it, Nene never had that much money.
Come
in
on
his
here,
life.
Gwen.
That's right.
Time.
Come on now.
So
You
Nene
preaching.
took that $20,000 and she moved to Germantown, got her a 2-bedroom apartment that she can only really afford for really a year, or really a month, because she ran through that $20,000 really fast instead of reinvesting that money.
Yep.
And so when she sold her house for $20,000, the actual value of the property was probably worth $100,000.
Exactly.
That's right.
So she cut herself,
Yep.
and she lost $80,000 because she never seen $20,000 in her life.
That's right.
So part of the reason why a lot of African Americans are so upset is this whole word called gentrification and how it is now hitting the African American community. And then when you had all these looting and officers shooting black men, that's part of the frustration.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's like you trying to move us out of the community that we grew up in, that we love so much, and you trying to bring your Starbucks on Macklemore.
Right. Exactly. Right.
Starbucks
That's
on
right.
Macklemore.
I'm gonna stop, y'all. I'm gonna stop, y'all.
What used to be
When I'm
Big
going to
Al's-
four-way grill, I'm gonna stop.
what used to be Big Al's
That's
Tasty
right.
Burger is now Starbucks.
Yes.
Soon.
Yep.
Let's talk about it.
Yep.
And that's the reason why so many African Americans are frustrated and upset because we're not used to reinvesting our money into our community. We make some money, we moved to Arlington. No offense, Telisa. We moved down
Hey, I
to
stay out
Horn
there
Lake.
too.
Yeah.
We moved to South Haven, but we don't never really put money back into the community.
And you're right, and that's why I'm in the community every day. My church is in the community. I serve the community. for all during the time of the pandemic, the last 3 months of the year. I gave out over 100 baskets every Friday in the Douglas community. I tell people, I don't just talk the talk. I walk the talk, and you'll never know it. Because when we invest into people, then God is pleased. A lot of times we got to be so careful, and we jumping on these bandwagons, we jumping on these trains that ain't taking us nowhere, and we drinking the Kool-Aid ain't got no sugar in it.
Come on now.
So we got to really, really reevaluate ourselves and reevaluate our motives. Many of those people that was down there at the Capitol, I guarantee they're sitting behind the bars right now. They're probably reevaluating their motives. So I'm telling you that when everybody's saying, let's go loot, let's go do this, you better reevaluate your life, reevaluate the people that matter to your life, because what's going to happen, there ain't going to be so much money to get you out of jail. And then who's to say somebody's going to get you out of jail? And then who's to say somebody's going to jail you while you in jail? The people that's in jail know what I'm talking about. You got to have somebody on the outside putting some money on your books. So listen, think about the consequences to your actions. Many of those people that we saw that went to that Capitol, I guarantee they ain't got $100 in their bank account, and their mama and their grandmamas and aunties and uncles is literally trying to figure out how they're going to bail them out, only for them to go back. Then they're going to figure out how to put their house up for the bail bonds, but only to lose it because they're going to have another rally and they're going to go back again. We better be careful, people, and I mean that. I know I got on the rapid. It don't take much. Be careful on what train you get your butt on, because every train ain't taking you the right way. Some trains are to derail you, to get you off track, where you'll never get to the
Willing soul missionary.
I know that's right.
Say it is. And they know I preach the same thing, because that we got to be so careful. Even in 2021, there's going to be a lot of underground stuff saying, hey, we're going to meet here. You got to think about what you meet for. You know, I've seen some things on Facebook that I wasn't pleased at, seeing African Americans getting put out their house and this, that, and another. But there was one I saw getting put out, and everybody was fussing, and they wrong. But heck, I saw big screen TV. So where's your priorities, people? So I'm not just talking about white people acting crazy down at the Capitol. I'm talking about you black folk, my sisters and my brothers. Let's think out our consequences. Yeah, y'all got $600. The Bible said the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. So I thank God for the wicked that gave me a little bit more. But my thing is, be careful on what bandwagons y'all are jumping on, because there's consequences to your actions. Those grandmothers are right now trying to scramble up money. You living in the boots of Arkansas. You ain't even got a good cell tower. You ain't even got a grocery store 10 miles from you, but your child taking that stupid crazy butt down to Arkansas, down to Washington, use up all your money to get to Washington to do what? For you to come back to lose your trailer? Are you crazy?
The doors of the trend.
I'm sorry, y'all. I done went on a tirade. But I'm telling you, be careful. That's the thing. Somebody should have counted the cost. I listened to my black brother that's attached to me on Facebook, even though he went to Washington, but he used some common sense. He counted the cost.
That's what his mama told him. Walk away.
Walk away, baby. Everything ain't for you to go through. Because you know what? He would have probably got more time than others.
And you know what? We was at the station when we got the word that President Trump told the people to walk away. And I pulled up my phone. I showed Elder Jason Clark over here, and
Elder.
He elder. You know, I showed him the video, and it was amazing to see that many people walking away like nothing happened.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When Mr. Trump, you know, I'm giving him his just due, because I want to say something else, but we on the radio, and I don't want to get us FCC.
Please don't.
But when he said, "We just walk away," they did us wrong. They walked away like it was the last day of the Mid-South Fair at the Mid-South Fairgrounds.
They live in
1996.
Exactly.
And everybody walking across the street to McDonald's in front of the Mid-South Fair. They walked away like nothing had happened.
Exactly.
We ain't did nothing. It's a revolution. It's a revolution.
And that girl had an onion in her.
It's a revolution. It's a revolution.
I'm going to tell you, to your point, the point you just made, that he was able to come and just say that. They're trying to say he wasn't the one, like his supporters, he wasn't the one that caused this. with his speech. Okay, now he had that much power to tell you to take your butt home, and you like, okay, we finna go.
We finna go.
So you mean to tell me he didn't have that same power that got you there?
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
I made
seriously, man.
I
because they didn't come up with that overnight. They had to book flights. And then you got somebody talking about the Air Delta wouldn't let him on because now he's on the do not fly list.
Right.
Idiot, what you expect?
Right.
So many of y'all work jobs where you flying. I used to serve at a job where I flew all the time. Baby, if I was on the do not fly list, I would have got that paper.
Right.
Let me read this there. I saw. I had to steal this. I had to steal this on Facebook.
Whoa.
All right. Trump fans Wednesday morning. Time for patriots to raise up. Stop the steal. March on Congress and demand they overturn the fraud election. Trump fans Wednesday afternoon. Yes! Oh my God! Yes! This is awesome. Let's kick some booty boys. Show them dirties boys, them Democrats, all them that we mean business. Mega, mega, mega. Trump fans Wednesday night. At least 99% of them were Antifa, pretending to be Trump supporters. We're civilized people. We don't do it. We don't act like that.
Really?
That's exactly what happened on Wednesday.
Let's say 99%.
99% of them pretending like nothing like that's not all. That's not Trump supporters. That's Antifa. Because they did try to throw out and say that Antifa hid in the midst of the crowd and they had paid actors. But once again, the Simpsons are prophetic. Because some of the things I saw Wednesday night was some cartoon pieces I seen on The Simpsons once before. Let's talk about them guys that was all in front of the camera. Especially the dude walking around with a coyote outfit on.
Right.
Now, was that not crazy? Halloween over, baby.
Bruh, what would you think? You stood out automatically.
But you know what? He just couldn't wear his mask, his white sheet and mask, so he figured he was gonna do that.
and shout out to everybody. All you know what? FBI, Facebook, Instagram. That's what it stands for. Seemed like the FBI could not figure who these people was, but everybody on Facebook and Instagram completely found out who was who ASAP and was tagging the FBI like, hey, this is Jason, this is Roger, this is so and so. I was like, y'all are some cops over here on Facebook. That's why you would never ever see my photo on Facebook. At least ask me, you always got funny pictures on your Facebook page. You know it. Hey, you can't describe me in no crowd.
Well, let me make you laugh. Y'all, many of y'all know, y'all see me on I'm the face of Hearst commercial. And so my name is Julie. But everybody say I don't do a good job of hiding the Julie. But I am Julie, y'all. I'm just acting. I'm Julie. But once somebody say your smile, give it away. So y'all, I'm going to stop smiling so much. Right. Okay? I lied. But I'm telling y'all, listen. What happened on last week, I pray that it doesn't happen again. Exactly. But I'm telling you that's listening, whether you white, black, whatever your nationality is, you better think about the consequences of the choices in which you're making. Remember, our number is 901-213-6438 is our number as well. Remember the consequences. There are consequences to your actions. Good. All right. Did y'all hear that? The trend. Did you hear that? The trend. Make sure you go ahead and get that in your spirit, as we say in church. The Trend, where we're trending music, culture, and conversation. Listen, make sure you are listening each and every day from 5 a.m. to 9 for the national syndicated show, the one, the only, the Ricky Smiley Show. Baby, Ricky Smiley will have you laughing, and he's having the conversations for our culture that we need, and he's playing the best hits that everybody loves to hear. And then at 10 o'clock, you know, you got me, your girl, Telisa Franklin on the Telisa Franklin Show. Make sure you reach out to me and let me know if there's any shows, any topics, or if any guests that you think that I need to have on this show. You definitely can go to my website at TelisaFranklin.com and go ahead and send me that information. And then from 11 to 3, Mr. Trend, inspiration himself, my brother, my friend, the Jason Clark. o'clock. Y'all, he's going to inspire you right here on The Trend from 11 to 3. And then from 3 to 7, you have my guy, the one, the only, Carlos Hale in the Urban Soul Cafe, y'all. He's going to make you laugh, give you great information and great music, and you never know what artist you may hear on his show. And then let me tell you, many of y'all are having issues from 8 to 10. You're going to have a little Tina Tilton, y'all. We love Tina Tilton. She's here from 8 to 10. And hey, baby, she's going to bless you with all great music. And then from over the night, from 10 over the night. So, you know, you that can't sleep well at night, you're having insomnia, you just up working, whatever it may do. Listen, go ahead and tune in to us on 104 FM and 1240 AM, WAVNTheTrend.com for all night praise and worship. Let the sounds of the Lord, of the whispers of the voices, literally put you to sleep in a relaxation state. Because you know what? There is power in the name of Jesus. And I tell you, all night long, y'all, you can turn on our station and hear the sounds of praise and worship. It will literally rock you to sleep. So you can't sleep, you want to hear a word from the Lord, and you know God is trying to talk. Listen, turn on the radio. You never know what the Lord may say through song that's going to push you to that purpose of what God has for you in your life. Amen. Well, I tell y'all right now, we're training a conversation right now that's been all over the world about the people jumping the fences at the White House, at the Capitol. They're busting down doors at the Capitol. They chasing the black man with the baton. He trying to say, get back, get back, get back, white people. But their white people didn't want to get back. They kept it moving. Well, I tell you, there were so many issues happening last week. I'm telling you, whatever you do, be careful of jumping on somebody else's bandwagon. Because many of those that jumped on, they had to hear the doors of the jail clamp on them today.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I'm going to say this or whatever, even before I make my next statement, I want to go somewhere completely different. Since this is our very, very first show.
Yes, yes.
I just want to say thank you to Telisa Franklin for assembling this amazing team here at The Trend. I'm telling y'all, we're going to be doing some amazing things and everything. And, you know, hats off to you, T, just for giving us this opportunity and everything, because I'm telling y'all, we're going to be here to serve you all. We're going to be here to serve the community. That's definitely the vision that she set forth and everything, and all of us agree. And I'm telling y'all, this is literally not just because of the individuals that are a part of it, but simply because we love each other, we love you all, and we're definitely going to be here to serve you all. So thank you so much to Telisa Franklin. Hats off to you. We're going to be doing some amazing things here at The Trend, so make sure y'all tune in each and every day. Tell your friends, tell everybody to tune in here at The Trend. But kind of going back, I want to talk about something that's dealing with this. What do you all think about Trump getting impeached? Because I'm serious. The House just said about an hour ago that they're getting ready to impeach him or whatever. They're getting ready to start this process or whatever. So, So, one thing I would love for, you know, like one of the callers or some of our Facebook viewers or whatever, do y'all think we should impeach him, or do you think like ain't no but 9 days left or whatever, just let them go and run on out or whatever? What are y'all thinking about that?
Well, the impeachment is going to be the way that we don't have to worry about another Trump administration.
You go. Absolutely.
Right. That's just really for me. So because one thing I see, and I have friends that's Republicans, I have friends that's Democrats, I have friends that is independent. But for me, I've seen a leader divide us, and I really want to see unity, because I know I teaches my son about unity. I mean, we make sure we do that, and many of his friends, one of his best friends is a Caucasian little girl, and I am always reminded that we love people because God is a God of love, and that's the only thing that I would say with his administration. I didn't like how they divided us. Became a black and white. Can we there's no black and white. There is the United States of America.
Right. That's right. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna say this, especially speaking on the impeachment. You know, for those of y'all that don't know, if this does go through, this completely takes all power away from Donald Trump. He's not going to be getting a pension from as a president or nothing like that. They're taking away his Secret Service. I mean, when I tell you, they are stripping him of everything.
Yeah.
If they impeach him, if they don't, then he's still going to have access to governmental secrets and all kinds of things as once of being a sitting president or whatever. And so, to me, he's irresponsible. You know what I mean? I mean, that kind of even goes to the point that someone made on my Facebook page. They were talking about with Twitter and all the social media outlets and everything completely shutting him up.
He's completely
right. Basically, his phone is a paperweight right now. All he can do is call and text. You know what I'm saying? But they completely shut him down. So somebody was like, well, that's going against freedom of speech and all this and that. Well, the thing about it is, number one, he was irresponsible with his freedom. We have a right to bear arms, but does that give us a right to use those arms and go and shoot somebody with it? You see what I'm saying? And so my thing is, he abused his power, he abused his position, and took his freedom to speech and freedom of speech to incite riots, to incite hatred, and all kinds of things or whatever. So he needed to be shut up.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Shut him up.
I think that was the reason why a lot of people was laughing at one post I made with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad smiling, and the post was a meme saying me watching the Capitol Police and the Rise fight. You know, when Elijah Muhammad, not Elijah Muhammad, but Louis Farrakhan was, smiling. Because here is a man who got banned from all social media outlets. I'm talking about Louis Farrakhan. He got banned from everything.
Wow.
He sure did.
And now you see, he wasn't inciting hatred and nothing like that.
They were always respectful.
Yep,
right, always
right.
respectful. But now you see that, Trump get the same outcome that he got. Banned from social media, period. And so, think about it. It's like he will go on TV, say one thing because the speech writers will write.
He wouldn't even
his
read them.
speeches.
Right.
But then he get on Twitter and say the exact opposite.
Right.
The exact same opposite. And that's what he, like you said, abused that power. He used Twitter. You'll be sleeping at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm not going to lie, I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I go to his Twitter pages because I know he said something stupid overnight. I know he can say something stupid overnight. Someone said to the point, not only should they ban him, but go ahead and ban his son, his daughter, and his wife, because he can use their page and still get his message across.
Well, she's going to leave him anyway, so it don't make no difference. You're like, look, I'm going to bounce.
Hey, Lil Barron got tall all of a sudden. Because remember, it was like, man, where Lil Barron go? He was on the campaign.
Yeah.
Lil Barron showed up like, damn, Lil Barron tall. Man. That's a little kid.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all, let's shout out some of these people that's on social media.
Yeah.
Dr. Jeffrey Ryan, he says, his comment was, there is black and white, seeing color is logical.
Yeah.
We had somebody by the name of James said, put him in jail.
Yep.
Put him at 201.
Yes,
Right.
yes,
On the
yes.
4th floor.
Absolutely. My Uncle Daddy said, I guess he was talking when I was on my tirade of praising the Lord. Give him praise, baby. Thank you, Daddy. Thank you. Listen, y'all, there's so many people that's out there. I can't even get it all now. That is listening to us. Listen. Molly, Polly, Ellis, thank you for sharing the video. All you all that shared. Beverly Davis, thank you so much. I know I got the love of all the Baptist ministerial wives, and I love you guys. I love you ladies so much. You guys are first ladies too, and I appreciate you all. But listen, do yourself a favor. Make sure you're telling somebody. I want to send some special love out to an amazing couple that is actually coming by to see me. Anybody know I love this couple. They are my babies. My baby Alfred and Ronisha Price that I love so much. They're getting ready to bring me a little baby called Baby Ava. And I cannot wait to see my little baby because y'all be hearing a lot about her, okay? The Lord has blessed me with a lot of beautiful princesses, and I got a new one coming on the way. So, Jason, you ain't the only one got 10 grandbabies.
Hey, watch out now.
I got a new baby coming out. I can't wait. I saw my little baby Shania. I saw my little baby Chloe. But I can't wait to see my other little princess Ava. She'll be here. So, y'all know, y'all, the struggle going to be real, y'all. It's going to be real. And I'm going to teach those young ladies I'm going to teach everybody that's attaching me, be careful on what bandwagon that you jump on. I know that my baby Alfred and Ronisha's in law enforcement. She's a state trooper, and Alfred is a deputy sheriff. And one thing I remind them, all of my babies, they actually have criminal justice degrees. One thing I remind them, make sure you don't get on the bandwagons on social media, because it can literally, you have to tell everybody how you feel.
That's right.
And you don't have to be jumping just because they say jump and you say ah, and you go, when you land back, you're going to land in 201 or whatever jailhouse it is. So y'all parents that didn't tell them no cheering, don't you take your butt to Washington, when they said, Mama, can I get a couple $100? Because you know y'all ain't had no money.
Right. See?
To go to Washington only to come back home to be broke.
I just want to know where the evangelicals go.
Man.
Oh, we heard nobody. The
yeah.
angels are coming.
The
You know,
angels,
right.
The angels went to a U-turn.
I'm trying to
or
tell you.
that, because the evangelicals, they was diehard supporters of Trump,
Mm-hmm.
and they was pushing his agenda in the in those churches. And,
Yep.
And I got a friend of mine who live in North Carolina who's a radio announcer, and he's an evangelical, and it's like everything has something to do with scriptures.
Mm.
Instead of him saying Democrats, he called them Democrats. And I'm like, bro, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Bro, really?
I heard that.
So,
Wow.
that's
You know what? And that, I don't mean to cut you off, but we need to have some pastors that can talk, that is pastoring black and white people, and you feel the way they feel.
Right.
Exactly.
You know, that's the reason why some churches, I love the fact how they brought conversations,
Yeah.
I was on Clubhouse on Wednesday, and I jumped in quite a few rooms about how, and I got a chance to hear from some white pastors
Mm-hmm.
and how they felt,
Mm-hmm.
and these wasn't evangelicals, these was, charismatic Pentecostal pastors, but, they felt the same way we felt. This was a shame. This was an embarrassment. And also, think about it. All the other countries around the world, and it was a young man that was here at the station on Wednesday, he said this, and I had to post it. He said, Donald Trump just showed the world how weak this country really is,
Yep.
and how you can manipulate
That's right.
people and make them feel that you're right
Mm-hmm.
because you lost.
Yeah.
You
Just
lost.
lose and go home.
Right. Many people have lost elections, and you know what? Al Gore, shout out to my man Al Gore. We on his internet every day. People forgot Al Gore had discovered the internet. But he conceded. Hillary Clinton, she conceded. John Kerry, he conceded. Matter of fact, I snuck into a George W. Bush victory party.
Mm.
I was one of only like 6 blacks in there at the party. But it was wild and crazy. You know what I'm
There's some
saying?
good chicken.
Yeah, it was some good food. That was on
I was saying there's some good chicken, y'all.
In the black band, they had a black band and some good food. That was the only reason.
Right.
But and that was on Fox News talking about 4 more years ago. I was trying to fit in.
Yeah.
But anywho, where is the pastors that pastor black and
Yes,
white?
yes.
Where are these pastors? Can they speak up? Some of them, got government money, so they can't say what they really want to say.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Bruh, just go ahead and say how you feel, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Just say how you feel.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I tell y'all, this has been a powerful, amazing show. You that is listening on us on the radio, if you listen to us online, if you listen to us on Facebook, we thank you so much. Make sure you remember that our call-in lines are only open from 10 to 11. We'll love to have your conversation, because tomorrow is going to be powerful. Because y'all know I got to do Small Business Tuesday. Don't play with it. Where I want to celebrate some small businesses. But I want to get the lasting words from my brother, Jason, and then Carlos.
Well, I just want to end by this quote that Donald Trump made in People magazine in 1998 that I'm looking at right now, and I'm reading it. This is what he said. He said, if I were to run, I'd run as a Republican president. They are the dumbest group of voters in the country. They believe anything on Fox News. I could lie and they'd still eat it up. I bet my numbers would be great. That's the moment that we're living in.
Wow.
I mean, he prophesied that. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
That is what he said, and so that's what we're living in. But I just thank God that we have that type of individual out of the office, and I just want to encourage everybody to pray for our leaders, not only from up that high, but even our local leaders, our pastors, our mayors and everything, and pray that everyone decides on the side of right. And that's all I have to say.
All right, Carlos.
I'll piggyback on what you just said about to pray for the leaders. That's during this whole pandemic. That's why I've been telling people to pray for their leaders, because you'll be surprised how many leaders are going through emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually.
Absolutely.
And if this pandemic have not taught you anything, it will teach you how to hold on to God's unchanging hand.
Amen.
Oh,
God is
Amen.
the ultimate source. So make sure you pray for your leaders.
Yes.
And don't just pray for them, call them, check up on them.
Yes.
Yep.
Make them a pound cake or something. Let
Right.
them feel hug, you know.
Make me one.
Yeah.
I better yet make me a peach cobbler.
Oh, Jesus.
Or give me some more Butterfingers.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, hook me up with some spaghetti. I play all that
Lord. Hey, y'all, listen, just do yourself a favor. Don't you ever change that dial. Listen, I love you and absolutely positively love you. There's nothing, absolutely positively, nothing you can do about it. Make today, make this moment, make this second the best day ever, and never change that dial from FM 104. AM 1240, trending music, culture, and conversation. I am your girl, Telisa Franklin, on The Trend. Hey, y'all, that was a God show.
Good.
That was a God show. Thank y'all. We love y'all. Tomorrow, hey, Small Business Tuesday. Y'all know I'm going to love on some businesses. All right, talk to you later. Bye.